Good evening. Happy holidays. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Power Hour. I'm Steve, along with the urban sensation C Red. Cactus Rack and Rion Skills will be joining us a little later on. But tonight, our guest is POW Entertainment superstar, superhero, if you will, the one, the only Joey Chi. Now, the last time Joey and I met, I didn't pronounce it quite right. So how did I do tonight?
Yeah, perfect.
Last night we met in the ring and he said he might do some very uncomfortable things to me if I didn't get it right. So I was very, very motivated to work on that this evening.
Still do it. Still do it.
The American Pit Bull is the name. Where did that come from? That's a when you're going to call yourself when that's your nom de plume, that's your character, that's who you are, American Pit Bull. So there has to be a reason. There's always a story. I know why C Red is C Red, the urban sensation. I know why Rion Skills is the real deal. So I want to know why Joey Chi is the American Pit Bull.
Well, because one of my way back in the day when I was active duty, one of my good friends kind of dubbed me with the moniker the Pit Bull because much like a pit bull, very playful, very likes to have fun, but don't get on the pit bull's bad side.
Well, I can say that I've seen that. So okay, that makes perfect.
Well, I'd like to think I have my anger under control, but every now and then you push. You know what? Sometimes you push too far.
Yeah, don't push too far. I would not recommend it. I saw you recently in a match with a whole lot of thumbtacks. And boy, I commentated a thumbtack match and I was picking thumbtacks out of my shoes for weeks, let alone to be in a ring where you're falling on that kind of stuff. How do you get yourself in a situation where there are thumbtacks involved in a match?
It was I was going against Tyler Sullivan. He's known for doing some crazy stuff.
That boy is just straight up insane.
He's insane, but a hell of a worker. Hey, I pushed for it to be a Chicago street fight, and he's like, "Oh, let since you're saying what type of match it is, let's do no holds barred." I'm like, okay. I'm just happy he didn't pull out any light tubes.
I've seen the light tubes in action. That is that's a little nerve-wracking, and
yeah,
it seems like when somebody hits one of those things, it's not a very comfortable experience.
No, and plus the particles, they're so fine and so tiny. I mean, you're scrubbing that stuff out for weeks.
So this Chicago street fight that you and Tyler Sullivan were in, take us back to that moment. Other than the thumbtacks, what kind of other plunder was involved in the match? I mean, what, chairs, tables? I mean, where did you guys go? What kind of canvas did you paint on?
We had chairs, tables. We had a door wrapped in barbed wire. Of course, the thumbtacks. Did some not so fun things for him with a set of tongs and a cheese grater. Yeah, he was bleeding all over the place.
And I'm not fond of the cheese grater technique. That's not that's not gonna feel good.
No, especially across your forehead. Yeah, so it was pretty much, if we would have had a kitchen sink, that would have been brought in there.
Everything but the kitchen sink, but
exactly.
That tells me all I need to know about the pit bull. And I assume you were victorious in said match because you look dapper like always.
I was victorious. The caveat to that match, the stipulation was the loser leaves POW. And I mean, I won. He's gone from POW, and that same night, I announced that it was time for me to step away as well.
So, are you retiring from this sport?
I will never say the R word.
Well, we know Red is very.
Everybody says the R word when they
about Red and the R word
again. Whatever.
I'm
Pitbull.
not. I am not actively. I am not an active wrestler as of right now. It it's time. It's time to step away. I have some injuries that the doctor pretty much has said, okay, what are you gonna do? I'm like, well, what are my options? He's like, well, you could retire. I'm like, well, we don't say that word. So he's like, well, you need to step away, do some physical therapy, see where we go from there. Um, I have some neck issues, and so unbeknownst to me, um, when I went for a checkup, um, he asked me, so how long ago did you break your neck? I'm like, I never have. He's like, oh, you did. He showed me the X-ray. I'm like,
Oh, so you're just kind of wandering around the world with a broken freaking neck. So what are you trying to? You're putting your Kurt Angle visage on.
exactly.
He wrestled with a broken freaking neck. You're doing
He
death
won a
matches
gold
with
medal
it.
with a broken freaking neck.
That's right. That's right.
And as an amateur wrestler myself, who wouldn't look up to Kurt Angle? But
Oh, of course.
yeah, I'm not going to emulate him in that way.
But
Like I
that's, I
said,
mean,
I didn't know.
how shocked were you?
It healed incorrectly, and then when I had gotten into a car accident, it aggravated it, and so it was a compound compression fracture. So yeah.
So was your last match before you decided to walk away, that match against Tyler Sullivan? So you went out
Yes.
in a street fight.
Yes. Probably not the wisest thing to do.
No.
But my whole, people asked, why do you want to put it to chance? I'm like, well, should it be my last match? I want to leave it all out there. And it was I was extremely proud of that match. I didn't remember the majority of the match because I got knocked out at one point. Took a chair to the face in the corner, and
Gotta
I
do it.
proceeded to finish the match, not really knowing what happened until I watched the playback.
That's got to be unsettling when you're looking at something and you can see it's you, but you don't remember doing any of it. That's just got to be a little nerve wracking.
It is, but yeah, I was just my good buddy Justin James was in the corner, and he he had saw my body go limp, and he smacked me on the side of the head. He's like, hey, you okay? And apparently I looked at him with a really glazed look, and I'm like, I'm beautiful, baby. How are you? And he just looked at Pee Wee, and he's like, oh, we're screwed.
That is a tough burden to come back and compete when you're a little bit left of center, shall we say?
Right.
Hey, you know what? You made it through, and it's a moment you look back on proudly. And if it's your last match, what a way to go out!
Exactly. You know what? I'm so proud that if that in fact, and I said that night, apparently, I saw that on the playback. I made a little speech at the end of the match, and I had told Tyler if that was my last match ever, I'm damn proud. I'm damn proud that it was against him, and the business we did in the ring was it was good business. It's of course I was not in my right mind at the end of the match, and there were a lot of people that I really wanted to thank, and um, because they were such a big part of uh, my different times in my career, and one of them that I didn't get to mention, of course, I only had a few minutes. Hunter Payne was, he probably doesn't well, he remembers the match because we've talked about it, but he doesn't know what that match meant to me. It was him and Austin Roberts um, against Terry Allen and myself, and
Warwick.
yeah, that was
Now, was it Hunter
definitely
Payne
a
or was it
highlight type of
Baltazar?
match. Pardon?
Was it Hunter Payne or was it Baltazar?
No, it was Hunter Payne.
Oh,
It was
man.
Hunter Payne and Austin, like I said, and it was Terry and I as out of control against them at I can't tell you which Wrestle Rage it was,
Well,
but
there's only been 20 of them, right?
right, I've only missed 2 of them.
Now, see, that's pretty impressive. That obviously, with the Wrestle Rage that just occurred was the first time I ever got to participate in it. And, from the way everything was set up to the way everybody responded when we came out, it was just such an impressive event, an impressive venue, an impressive crowd. So just to walk and be a part of it was amazing, let alone you having been on 18 out of 20 of them. That's some longevity right there.
Well, and the only times that I was gone was when I was deployed or activated.
Well, there you go.
So
well, I
it
mean,
was
if you're gonna have an excuse, that's a pretty solid one.
yeah, well,
So we've talked a little bit about what could be the end. I want to back the truck up a little bit and talk about the beginning. How long have you been in this business?
I signed my first contract with WCPW in November of 99.
That is a good long.
I'm sorry, no, May of 99.
So May of 1999. So you've been in this business several decades at this point.
Couple decades, and I wasn't when I signed my contract with Windy City. I right after I signed the contract and had started training with Windy City, I found out that my ma was terminal, and so I stepped away. Let's put it this way: Sam and I had a parting of ways. Anybody who knows Sam, especially back then, wasn't super understanding to the situation. And me being just back from active duty, I was not in the I was not in the frame of mind that you really wanted to be unsympathetic with. But so I for about a year, I'm like, okay, if this is how people are in this business, I'm not gonna put myself in that position. Jimmy Blaze and Dave Storm, through a mutual friend, approached me and they had told me that they were starting CCW, and it took a little convincing and a bunch of outings for them to talk me into it, and so I signed with CCW, which eventually became PAL, and as they say, the rest is history.
Wow, listening to you tell stories. I've been doing this show with C-Red for so long. He also came out of Windy City, and between active duty and everything he's been through, you guys have very similar stories. Red, do you feel anything when he tells that story? Because it sounds an awful like some of the stories you shared on this show.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, Sam was not very understanding when it came to your personal shit, but he wanted you to understand his personal shit. And, like, I started.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. See, Red.
That's because Red's very quiet. He's a very quiet, reserved.
I have never known him to be quiet.
He saves his quietness for here.
I don't know why you can't hear me, Joey. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Sam is on, and I mean, I get it. It's a business, that's fine. But when I joined, I told him, dude, I got family. I got kids. I'm a grown ass man.
Right.
I'm not one of these kids, 18, 19, no. I'm a grown ass man. I got my own bills. Let's
Right.
let's be men about certain shit.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think he thought that he could probably steamroll me like he did those kids. I look young for my age, and so maybe he didn't. He wasn't the one who signed me. Actually, Jimmy Kleckner is the one who signed me, and so Jimmy knew a heck of a lot more of my background than Sam did, and so maybe it would have been different had he known my background, and maybe would have come at it a little bit differently. From what I hear, he's a changed man. I don't know, because the last time he was over by Powell, I didn't even speak with him. Um,
You didn't speak to him at the induction?
no, no.
Wow. Because it's crazy because as soon as you said Windy City, and I'm like, but Joy wasn't out there when all of us went out there.
No, I was not.
Wow.
No, I generally don't hold grudges. Not that I'm holding grudges because holding a grudge, but it's like, you know what? Enough people have, because, and I'm sure he didn't even remember the situation. But enough people had mentioned it to him, and he didn't see fit to come and, hey, say sorry, because as we all know, especially in this business, we can. There are times that we may have been, uh, you know, a little bit too big for our britches, or whatnot, or just acted like an a-hole towards people. Um,
You guys
Not that
say
I'm a saint by any means, but knock on wood, I've always prided myself on not being that way since I've been in the business, and um, you know, because of a series of events, and like I said, with my ma, being diagnosed terminal, within that time, I got to know the type of person that she was, and aside from being mom, and it's like, well, you know what? That's the type of person I want to be, and I try to, I don't know, I try to be as welcoming as I can to new guys. You can mean what you say and say what you mean and not do it meanly, you know,
no, I get
because
it.
life
I
is
get it.
just, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, and there's a lot of problems in this business, and
Wow.
that
So
says
Message.
it all.
so many,
Message.
so many.
So
So
I mean,
that's a
but
little bit of history.
so hold on.
Oh, go.
So you started Windy City, then you left because you had to take care of mom and deal with all of that. So did you instantly jump to CCW?
no, it took about a good year and 6 months, um, from when I met Dave and Jimmy, and when they started talking to me about uh, they're gonna start their own promotion, and I was still leery. I'm like, you know what, I've been through enough. I've had enough aggravation in my life. I don't need to put myself in a situation where I'm gonna have nothing but aggravation dealing with uh, certain types of people. And after spending a lot of time with the boys, um, you know, I'm like, okay, it's a good group of guys, and of course, I met Forsaken, Rick Reynolds, Tommy Capone. Uh, who else? Who else was one of the mainstays that would come up all the time, because they would come to the bar that I was working at the time, and we just hang out, and then of course after signing, of course getting to know Ronnie Vegas, Shane Morton, Eric Freedom, of course, Mike Blade. I'm like, okay, these guys have been in the business for some time, so maybe they're not all bad. Because like I said, a great group of guys. And then we had like the second year of CCW, we had a tremendous class come in. Rough Crossing, Scott Spade, Chris Cairo, Kanoa. Who else? I mean, I was tagging with Diego Corleone.
The Strangler.
The Strangler. But let's see, Chris Hollywood. I mean, we just had a whole cast of characters, and even I know that's some people may not like the guy. Big time Kirby Duck. Say what you will about him, as far as um, as
Come
far
on,
as
Red. Come on,
personal.
Red.
Hey, as far as personal stuff aside, the man knew how to draw heat.
He's still doing it.
Yeah, he is. He hasn't, not saying that from experience, because he hasn't even, talked to me since he left CCW. But yeah, we had a really good group. I mean, Terry came aboard. Terry and Sandy came aboard. Jeff Luxon came aboard. Gavin Dunn. Who else? And we've had Chris Chaos.
Wow.
Dayhawk. Who else? I mean, we just, like I said, for a good chunk of years, the company was like a family, and I mean, we did everything together. We celebrated births together, weddings together, divorces,
The whole cycle of life.
the whole cycle of life,
You were Hakuna Matating the shit out of it.
to say the least.
Wow. That, I guess, is just, it's ironic. I won't say crazy, but it's ironic that the same story you tell is, again, the same story that I know, because hell, it's the infamous Sam pulled the ego trip one night and more or less he didn't realize it, but he gave birth to Vanguard. Like, everybody left,
Mm-hmm.
including me, because I was just like, dude, this is wrong. You don't want to see nothing, and he even said in the meeting, it's my damn company. I do with it what I want. And we were all like, okay,
Exactly.
let me back up. How many years were you in the service?
4 years active Air Force, and I'm still in the service, Army National Guard.
Oh, okay.
So, as a matter
Wow.
of fact, one of the Wrestle Rages that I missed was I was in DC. Well, I was activated downtown, and then had to go to DC for that dog and pony show for 6 months. Only supposed to be there 2 weeks. 6 months later, I got to come home.
Unfortunately, I get that. I signed my paperwork to go to Korea, uh, only for Bush to declare war
Mm-hmm.
and get to O'Hare, and we fly 18 hours to get to Korea, only to find out my unit has already been shipped off to Saudi.
Nice.
They were
Saudi
like,
Arabia.
hey, they're like, hey, turn in them greens and get some sand.
Get the
What?
deserts. Yep.
What? We didn't
Where were
sign
you
up for
at in
this.
Saudi? Were you at Al's garage? Al Karj?
Yeah.
Yep.
And the crazy part, we were literally there for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then they sent us back to Korea. And it was like, I could have just stayed in the barracks this whole goddamn time. Like, I didn't need to do this. I
Right.
mean, but it is what it is. But
Well,
I,
that's military intelligence for you.
please let's not go there. Oh, I lost respect for MI during basic. That tells you how, again, I'm like, if this is where we are with MI, I'm glad I'm 11 Bravo. Thank God. I just shoot and kill people. That's my job. I just
What was your MOS?
11 Bravo.
11 Bravo.
Infant.
Okay, I'm a 31 Bravo right now.
It's crazy because I could have either been infantry or a secretary. And there's nowhere in the world you could have told a black kid from the South Side, be a secretary. Now I realize that is one of the biggest mistakes in my life.
Oh,
Because I'm like,
absolutely. Absolutely. I had a buddy that he was all about when he first went in, he's all about, oh, I want to be infantry, blah blah blah. I want to be infantry, I want to be infantry. But his mother had the forethought to be like, no, 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 no. Do something with computers. He's like, no, 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 no. Well, eventually he listened to his mom, and she's like, they're gonna train you, they're gonna educate you, and then just wait and see, because once all is said and done, you're gonna have your pick of jobs after. And he transitioned from being a soldier, an IT guy, to now he works on the civilian side, um, for the military, and I don't even know what rating he's like a GS. He's up there. He's up there. He's making good money. I'm like, huh.
and like I said, that's my one regret. I'm like, do you know I could have sat behind some general's desk getting coffee and filing paperwork, and I could have did that shit for 20 years. No, not me. I want to shoot people. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Right?
Does that
Then you
really sound
realize,
fun? Is that is that was your mindset?
so honestly, I'm shooting right now. I was so pissed at my parents. Like my whole military career was aimed to piss them off. So I literally eloped with the girl I shouldn't have married, but we had 3 kids, whatever. Anyway, but like I did that to piss them off. I signed all my benefits over to my now wife, so they got nothing to piss them off. Because again, I'm like, I'm going to war.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably not gonna make it back.
Right.
And there's all this insurance and life insurance and all these benefits. They ain't getting shit. I'm leaving it all to this girl. Okay. Yeah.
A decision of a career based on petulance. Well, no
So,
wonder you went into wrestling.
Exactly.
I mean, dude, it was horrible. Again, if I could talk to me then, oh, trust me, my life would probably be totally different.
I was thinking about that today. If I knew back then what I know now, things would be so much different.
But yes,
And
I
it's
would have been
funny.
somebody's.
It's funny because after I got out of active duty, it was a fluke that, because of course Monday Night Wars were a big thing when I was active duty, right? And we were we were sitting there, and all my buddies and I, every commercial break, of course, it would be a full on battle royal. And they're like, hey, you're pretty good at this. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, whatever. When I came home, I was I was managing a health club, and I was wearing a DX shirt, and Zebra Kid was working out at the gym that I was managing, and he he's like, "So you like wrestling?" I'm like, look down on my shirt. I'm like, "What makes you think that?" like, well, it's only DX, yeah. And so we started talking, and he's the one who gave me the number to Windy City for to get a tryout and everything. So
You mean you didn't see the
so and then
infamous commercial
huh?
before you could? I said you didn't see the infamous commercial
No, I did. I
before
never saw the commercial.
you've got to go to school. Like say, I ain't gonna lie, Sam was brilliant with putting the commercial together. Cause I saw the commercial, I'm like, what the fuck ever? And again, eventually he got my money anyway.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's
So,
very fair. Shit, he got my money and my ex-wife's money. So
a lot of money. You got a lot of money. So you started off there, you had active duty, and then you ran the gauntlet for almost 2 decades in POW. Have you worked other places, or were you pretty much POW only?
No, I've worked other places. Predominantly though for POW. I also worked for War, um, which I'm still waiting for my payday from Buddha.
Oh my boy, if I had a nickel for every person still waiting for a goddamn payday, everybody
Right?
that's ever been in this business waiting for a payday. From some
hey,
Where else?
I'm still waiting for that motherfucking Milwaukee. And if I ever find your ass in that damn blue lucha mask, it's a different red now.
I've worked NWA down in Tennessee. Um, worked for a handful of places. Worked up in Michigan for Freedom. I've worked for a few different promotions down in Tennessee, Mid South being one of them. Um, Another promotion that ran out of Harvard. Yeah, ran out of Harvard. Um, forget forget the name of it. Uh, Johnny Armani was one of the promoters there.
Can't think of
Because
it.
there was a brief 21 months that I didn't work for PAL, um, due to a falling out, but that was resolved. And within that time, I also had an activation. So yeah, I've worked for a handful of places. Even worked for SCW.
It's all connected in some sort of way.
Yeah, and that's funny. It's such a small community. People don't understand. Even when you're talking about uh the the big promotions, it's still a small community. It's the different people that you get to know and work with, or even just share a locker room with. So it's pretty cool.
Going
Dude,
back,
I,
going back through the
two,
history.
two,
Oh, sorry.
two
Go ahead, Red.
shoots real quick. It's funny you say that. So over the weekend, I did 2 different shows, and I just knew that these 2 guys didn't remember me. I mean, even though I'm me and I always wear red, but still. And one of them was Evil Uno in AEW. And so all night, shows going on, doing whatever. And I just figured, before the end of the night, I was like, I'd be a dick if I didn't say hello. So I said, hey, I don't know if you remember me or not. He was like, yeah, Red, I remember you and your guys in your car. And, he was like, yeah. Then he asked about because Marche was there, so he asked, was Willie and Jazz still wrestling? I said, Jazz is still wrestling. I said, Willie, nah.
Oh, Willie's watching, probably somewhere
I
lurking.
I don't care. So,
Willie is
and
stalking the
then,
show. That is legitimate truth.
right, I know he's talking. Then I worked a show. Then I left that show and literally, I'm too old for double shots. I drove and did another show, and Lucha Legend Skyday was there. And again, just paying my respect. I'm running in. My match is literally getting ready to hit. And I shake his hand and I go out and I do our match. All right, I come back and probably about 10 minutes later, he shakes my hand again and he's like, "Oh, I remember you and our time in Chicago and the fun you guys are." And I was like, "Damn." Like,
Skyday was
you
good
guys,
people. Skyday was good
no,
people.
he's great. I just didn't think people that that goes with Joey was saying is so small. And again, you think these people have traveled the world and all the people they come across. I'm like, there's no way they remember me. And hell, to find out they do. And I was
Yeah.
like, shit, okay. Uh I better clean up my social media real quick. Gotta be a
You know,
reason why I ain't got a job. So
well, it's fun. It's funny because it's like guys like Chavo Guerrero, who's like super busy. You know, and we still talk to this day. You know, as if you know, as if we're friends. I would call him an acquaintance, but I mean, actually, I would call him a friend because of how we communicate and whatnot. We don't talk all the time, but we talk, and guys like Rhino. I didn't know if he'd remember me from the last time we were on a show together, um, but he did, and we picked up right where we left off talking about Italian food, because Rhino's Italian, and he wanted to know, from a real Italian, where's the best Italian place to eat in, Illinois. I'm like, well, I can't. Well, chances are I know where the best places because anywhere south of Chicago, you're not going to find good Italian food.
All
So,
right, so now I'm interested. Where's the best place in Chicago?
oh well, if you want to look at the suburbs, Venuti's in Addison, right off of Lake Street. Venuti's is really good. Um, I am partial to if you want to talk about a chain, I am partial to Buco de Pepo.
I've had many a
Any
fine
one of
meal.
the locations.
They're very good.
Um, I prefer the one. I want to. Is that is that North Oak Brook?
There's one in Oak Brook, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I prefer. Um, but downtown, Little Italy. I mean,
All right, so let
or
me
Italian Village.
let me rephrase the question. It's your last meal in this state, in this city, and you gotta have it. Where are you going? You get nothing after this. You're out of town. You're never coming back. You got one more meal. Where's the go-to? There can only be one.
Venuti's because they hooked me up.
It's not necessarily the best, but you got the hook up there. I like it.
Oh, absolutely. Because when Joey Chichi sits down to eat, he doesn't eat a normal portion like they serve. The family platter. That's what we like. And Joey doesn't share food.
Very important.
So
So you're sitting there at this place and you've got the family platter. So what are we eating here? I'm now you got me interested in this whole Italian food thing.
gnocchi with marinara.
I have no idea what that is.
It's like a potato pasta.
Oh, okay.
It's spelled gnocchi,
Ah,
but
okay, got it.
it's gnocchi.
Gnocchi. So you're giving me the authentic pronunciation, which is good.
Absolutely.
So do you start with that? But I mean, are we going right to the gnocchi, or are we?
Oh no! You got to start with yeah. I mean, come on now. Uh, being Italian, that's what we do. We eat and then die of massive heart attacks. So, uh,
That's fair.
hey, you know what? If down here is all happy, this is going to be happy. It's going to look better in the casket.
That
Just
is
saying.
that fair point. And we just named tonight's episode "Looking Better in a Casket."
So, no, you got to start out with, I like the caprese salad. The fresh mozzarella, tomato, oregano, balsamic vinegar over the top. Um, then you go to the gnocchi because it's a family platter. So you're gonna be sitting there eating for a while,
You got
and
to unbuckle
then
that belt a little bit.
you gotta wear stretchy pants,
That's
your
important. Very
your
important.
holiday pants.
It is very important to wear the proper wear there. Any kind of
Absolutely.
meats or anything. I mean, you got the pasta, you got the salad. What's our meat? You're not going to go to a restaurant and not have some sort of meat.
The meat
Are you doing like meatballs, or are we doing something else?
sausage,
Ah, sausage.
sausage.
Red, do you call it sausage when you cook it in the backyard?
Hell no, I call it sausage.
My buddy, when I was growing up, one of my best buddies, even to this day, Tommy Castellani, you know, good Irish boys, right? Um, we'd be walking home. His dad worked for Illinois Bell, if you remember
Unfortunately, I
Illinois
do
Bell.
all
So
too
he'd be
well.
off of work by like 2 in the afternoon. We'd get to his house, and his dad would already have a couple cocktails in him. Be making the sausage in the garage. He'd make his he'd make homemade sausage, and oh my god, it was incredible. He'd be like, "Hey, Giuseppe, hey, you hungry?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm hungry."
I feel like you
Now I'm hungry.
now I'm
Shit.
hungry too. I feel like you
See,
might be
and
the most authentic
going on the
Italian
road with
guest.
Chaz, because Chaz and I have worked a bunch together. I mean, more than half our road trips are talking about food. You know.
You and Moretti are like peas in a pod when it comes to you showcasing your Italian side. It's amazing. It is.
Well, it's such a big part of. It's a. I mean, it's as big as you know because of how I was raised. It's such a great. I mean, I'm not taking away from any other, way of being raised, but it was such a great way to be raised. It was very family centric, very traditional. Um, yeah, just the parties. I mean, I could like write 1,000 screenplays just off of family get-togethers alone. And I mean, people think it's exaggerated, like when they watch movies like uh, you know Goodfellas. No, no. You only really have to remember 5 names because everybody has the same damn name, and everybody thinks we're yelling, but we're not. We're loud. We're loud. And plus, there's so many people there. You have to yell to be heard.
That makes sense.
So it was kind of like a no brainer when I was tagging with my nephew. Um, what we're gonna do. Which direction we're gonna take our characters. It's like, gee, there's no other
Live the life.
nationality either of us could be. So
It's been an amazing ride all these years. At POW you've left a legacy. But there's always going to be that fan in the background of the show that's going to start that chant that's going to build up one more match, one more match. So if you find yourself in the ring and Jimmy and company are laying the roses at your feet, if you are finished for now, and you get that opportunity, if you start thinking to yourself, maybe I should have one more match. I mean, you've left it amazingly with your match with Tyler Sullivan, and don't think I don't absolutely remember you and Paulie Tomaselli thumb wrestling. I have never seen a match 9 minutes in where neither participant has struck the other in any way. I'm looking at my watch backstage going, we are at the 9 minute mark, and the most contact they've done is thumb wrestling.
Well, I mean, if you know
Amazing.
anything about Paulie and I, he's one of my best friends, and we like to make each other laugh.
A lot of laughter
And
going on in the back on that show. Everybody's watching you do. You guys were effectively dirty dancing, and everybody's watching it going. The laughter in the back was amazing.
I don't know who there's. I mean, there's so many
Is there
people.
anybody out there that you would like to? You know what? I've been doing this a long time. I've fought so many great people. I've had so many great experiences, but I never got to work him, or I never got to do this. Is
I
there?
never got to work Vic Capri.
Ooh.
And a little story about Vic. When I was with Windy City, and it was one of the first shows that I was there for. I'm sitting there all by myself, and he was the only one that came up to me and extended his hand. He's like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Vic Capri," and then he told me his shoot name, um, which I'll leave that to him to, that's not. But he's like, is this your first show? Since you signed with, I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, okay. He was just, and he didn't remember this. And so when he came aboard at POW, I'm like, I gotta tell you, you know, it's so awesome to be sharing a locker room with you, because you made such an impression where I was getting looked at sideways by all these other people, and you didn't care. You just came up and were as nice, and we all know Vic, one of the nicest guys. I mean, as far as being a human being, in the ring, he's a little crazy, but he was just such a great guy, and he was so welcoming, and that meant the world to me, because I didn't know anybody there, and he just came up and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" So uh that Steve Boz is another one.
Oh, the BNC. I work with him every month.
Boz and
I'm hitting Boz up with it.
Boz and I are buddies, and I feel bad because I haven't reached out to him in a while. There's been a lot going on the past year and a half for me, so
We got to get you out to CSW. I know the GM there. He and I are tight. We got to
yeah,
get you to do some stuff.
I got it. I have some. I'm gonna be having a little bit more free time. Even though I'm done as an active wrestler, I'm still gonna be working with Pal in different ways.
Ooh, now that's a teaser. It's like, are we talking about an character acting? Are you going to be behind the scenes training? What do we?
Definitely behind the scenes. I've been for the past few years. We're helping out behind the scenes a little bit, and I'm going to continue that. I'm also, I want to see the younger guys succeed, and I want to see them get better. And the hardest thing for me to look at in this business is, so many times we get complacent, and people start believing their own BS. And
all the time.
it's like, okay, first of all, you got to know where you begin or where you end and the character begins, and vice versa. And a lot of people don't know that, and you know, but also it's because they're conditioned into that way of thinking. And if I can be there and be one of the guys that, you know, I know this is going to sound dumb, but try to keep it a little bit more real and try to and help anybody I can. I never really saw myself as that guy. Um, you know, because I look at all these other people, I'm like, they are so much better technically than me. I'm like, I I have charisma and I look like a wrestler, and that's kind of uh my charisma and my look is really what allowed me to last as long as I did. Um, but you know, when you have guys, and let me just say, Tyler Sullivan was one of them that I that would come up to me, and yeah, I was one of his first matches, and you know, he's quite possibly, you know, one my last match, you know, and I saw how he progressed, and I've seen where he's gone and all his matches, and he still to this day will come up to me or call me up. He's like, "Hey, did you see this match of mine? Could you watch it and tell me what you saw?" You know, and that got me. You know, him and a few other people would do that all the time. I'm like, maybe I am one of those guys I never saw myself as someone that anybody really would want to ask. You know, my nephew, uh, he'll call me all the time, and he'll be like, "Hey, did you see my match? You know, last Tuesday. What'd you think?" And then, you know, I'll tell him what I thought, and he's like, "Oh wow." He's like, "Yeah, Sean said that too." I'm like, "Yes, Shawn Michaels and I share the same brain," which we don't.
But it makes for a great story. It makes stop. No, I don't. I can't unsee that. I can't unsee that. So the career is winding down, and you're moving into a different phase. You'll still be around, but you won't be actively wrestling. In the military, you said you're still involved. I mean, do you still are you still actively in the military at this point? I mean,
Yes, matter of fact, I was just at drill this weekend. So yeah,
I don't use this shit.
I mean, I'm still locked in until 2025.
I mean, does it ever do you ever sit there and think,
God bless you.
yeah, God bless you indeed. Do you ever sit
Red
back
is
there
a
when
young man's game.
this world is
It's a
so
young
messed.
man's game. I need to be done really soon.
Well, because the world's not getting any less crazy, and you know, whether you're in one of the big branches or the National Guard, I mean, there's so much crap going on. You never know when you're. I mean, like you were telling us about, you know, how you spent 6 months in DC, and you know, does that ever concern you in any way?
Yes and no. I was with a unit that they're getting ready to in January uh go to Gitmo for 10 months, and I'm in a different unit now, so I'm not going, which kind of works out for me because my buddy Double J, Justin James, he's getting married. So I'm like, I can be at his wedding now.
That's a good thing.
And the bachelor party. So
Oh, what happens at the bachelor party stays at the bachelor party, especially if you're all a bunch of Italians. And we don't want to hear it.
well,
We
we're
do
gonna be
want to hear it,
going,
but we don't want
it's
to
gonna
have
be
that.
down in Nashville. So my home away from home. Uh
As
I
so
as you're
yeah,
wrestling,
but no, there's always that threat. There's been talk, and all it is right now is talk. about deployments coming down the pipe, and no telling about where or when or what the mission's going to be. So, I mean, we'll see. Maybe I'll dodge that bullet of having to go again. But then again, 3 years is a long time.
Long time.
Anything can happen. And I mean, Red could tell you, he probably saw some guys, who they were getting ready to ETS, and they got extended because they were on orders.
Dude,
So
half the no, 3/4 by the time, like, you the new guy, takes a minute to really get to know people. But after the second week, I found out everybody was pissed. And I was like, okay, why? They was like, man, I done did my time. I was supposed to ETS 2 weeks ago. Like,
yep.
so that whole time, they're still there. Then we come back and nobody can out process until the fucking war was over. And even then, it took 2 more months for everybody's paperwork to come in. Cats was pissed. And I was like I didn't say shit. I was like, I'm sorry.
Right. Well,
But
and that's just it. There's a reason why the saying is embrace the suck. Because what are you going to do? Sit and bitch about it? All you're going to do is piss the wrong people off. And so embrace the suck. And a lot of people don't understand, but, as vets, as soldiers, we do have a darker sense of humor, because you have to, in the shittiest conditions, you have to find some type of a silver lining. Otherwise,
you go
in
fucking
game,
crazy.
in game, So it's
You
I
talk
have
about
I
strange
have an
shit.
acquaintance that lost his limbs, 3 of his 4 limbs, and he walks. He of course has prosthetics. He walks around in a t-shirt saying, "I had a blast in Afghanistan." I
Touche.
mean,
Touche.
Wow.
it's you gotta find the silver lining. It's. I mean, every time we were supposed to come home from DC, well, I shouldn't say every time, but like there were 3 times that we're about ready to come home from DC, and 10 of us from my unit alone, our stuff was on the C-130, palletized. They're like, "No, you're sane."
Got to open up that pallet.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
and of course, is anybody helping us? No. So we had and of course, none of our stuff was on top.
You never
Murphy's
oh
Law.
boy.
you never feel you're going to go home until you get on a plane and you land home.
I
That's the
will.
truth.
I'll go even further. Never feel like you're gonna go home until you're on that tarmac back home. Boots on ground. Boots on ground.
Hell,
Because
I got scared. No bullshit. When I finally came home. And so here's the crazy part. Nobody knows. Yes, I said the crazy part, Steve. The funny part. There you go. Okay. I literally, so when I got discharged, they put some kind of fucking way, leave it to the government, that I still had to finish out my tour. And I'm like, but you just gave me an honorable discharge.
Right.
What the fuck ever. So now, Bush Jr.'s in office, and he's starting shit. Dude, the fucking phone rang, and I got scared as shit. Like, you're gonna wait? And they were trying to get me back. But I worked with a vet, and he was like, hey, I can get you to be a drill sergeant somewhere else, and you won't have to deploy. And I was like, do what you can. He did. He called whoever he needed to call. Dude, the only reason why I didn't get sent again is because I'm a diabetic now. That was the only reason. Like, they had the paperwork in hand. They was getting ready to put that shit in the mailbox. My ass was getting ready to be gone. And they said, is there any change to your medical history? This is the last question. And I said, yeah, I'm a diabetic. Ended everything. I said, boy.
Gave you a handshake and have a nice life.
I said, boy, if that wasn't the best thing that being a diabetic could be, I said, shit, it does have some advantages, doesn't it?
There's that silver lining.
There's the silver lining, and it's a sick one to take diabetes. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Joey, you've been an entertaining guy for a long time, and listening to you tonight share your stories, both in ring and overseas, makes me not want you to leave this business. Makes me want you to come back. So I might be that idiot in the back of the venue saying one more match, because your pedigree and your work speak for itself. And now that we can say nice things about Pow, I want my final question to be this. Wrestle Rage 20 came and went, and Austin Roberts did his mediation business. And now the fences are mending, at least for some people. And I know there are a lot of POW athletes going to be in Shabance this weekend for Christmas Bash. Do you think SCW and POW can come together and become family, or do you think that this is a situation that's just set up for disaster?
No, I think it can happen. I definitely think it can happen.
But then the question remains, does Joey come back for one more run in a united company? Shabance wants you. Shabance wants you. You got a hell of a reaction out of that crowd when you were there. Even though I messed up your name, those even though you were POW, you turned some heads. People were impressed.
Well, let's put it this way. The way I feel right now, maybe I'm not done. But maybe I am.
Card subject to change, as we all know. Joey, you've been a hell of an entertaining guest. I hope you'll come back and share some stories with us down the road. We always love to have part.
Absolutely.
We hope
Anytime.
you had a good time. It's been a long time coming. I've been a fan for a while, and I'm just so happy that we had this chance to sit and talk with you.
Anytime you want me, just hit me up.
All right,
I'll be more than happy.
Will do. Joey Chichi, everybody. Now, I go get and attack that mini fridge in your hotel room there. There's got to be something in there for you.
There is.
You deserve it. You're working hard for a living.
Or hardly working.
Or hardly working, whatever you want to. Joey, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. We appreciate you so much. And good luck, in your work vacation. And, don't stay out of the ring too long, because we'll miss you.
Well, as I've told some people, don't worry, you'll be seeing me again.
We'll be seeing Joey Chichi before too long. It is inevitable. Joey, have a good night. Have happy holidays. Thank you for being on the show. We appreciate you, and we'll catch up with you next time, okay?
God bless, my friends.
All right, that is Joey Chichi. Thanks, Joey. We'll see you down the road. That smile is worth it all right there. All right, so that's Joey. He's done for tonight. We appreciate him. He's going to go attack that mini fridge, and we're going to wrap this package and finish out this show. We're going to let him live his life.
All right. See y'all later.
See you, Joey. All right.
Bye-bye.
POW Entertainment superhero, the American Pitbull, Joey Chichi. He will be back in the ring hopefully before too long, and that'll be great. I think we lost Rion too. So we're gonna say goodbye. No, Rion's still there. All right. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So now we've got Joey gone. Red, I really enjoyed you and him exchanging military stories. We don't appreciate enough those that are out there, protecting our freedoms, and that's pretty cool. I heard a lot of your stories in his stories. It's the camaraderie, it doesn't stop in one place, does it?
No, I mean, why? Not saying why would it, but when you figure out that you and guys, regardless to what branch or whatever, you guys, it's said, but I really don't think people grasp the concept. We give up our freedom so you can have yours.
There's no question about it. And just, hearing those stories about, not feeling at home until you hit the boots on the ground, like he said, it reminds you that, we really should thank a vet sometimes, and we don't do it enough. So, hey, thanks, Red.
Oh, well, hey, it was.
Now, we've got another war coming up on Sunday that we're going to talk a little bit of. I'm going to need the infantry training in full regalia Sunday afternoon in Richmond Park, but we'll talk about that.
Really?
What the hell? Cactus Rat shows us Rion is just sitting there in still imagery. He hasn't said anything. He's not here. I've got special food for him tonight that I brought home from work, and nobody. It's just you and me, Red. It's like the old days.
He's there.
He's not there. I'm expecting Willie to pop in any second.
I pray to God.
I should get a straight order for Willie. He's holding me hostage on my own show. But that's neither here nor there. Well, Cactus wasn't feeling well, and she said she was going to come in video only, and she hasn't been here yet. And we're going to talk about a few things that are going to affect her directly, so hopefully she'll see it. Before we get to something that needs to be discussed, Red, how was Dreamwave? I hear good things. I hear Aaron Xavier got beat in less time by Marche Rocket this time.
No. Last time was 46 seconds. This time, 57 seconds.
Oh, so he lasted a little longer, did he?
Yeah,
I got to watch what I say, because Aaron watched the show last week when we interviewed Jay, and I got some hate texts. He was not happy with me.
Why?
He felt I was dogging him. He was not a happy guy. So I'm not going to talk about the 57-second man because, that's just not right.
But if you want to see it, ladies and gentlemen, go to IWTV, type in Engine's Dreamwave. You will see the show Nevermore, and
in its entirety.
Yeah. And so you asked how the show was. Again, standing room only, sold out. Of course, we knew that would happen.
Raven didn't make it, unfortunately, but
no,
some surprises did happen.
He was sick. No, there were a few what's the word I want to use? And see now
Rion's
he's winning.
walking.
Um, there was some surprises to the Good as Gold Rumble,
Is
and
Rion's like walking through downtown Homewood?
I don't know where he
That
is.
looks like the walkway by the knockouts facility. Maybe he was at knockouts practice.
I don't
I don't
know.
know. We'll find out. But he's on Rion's on the move. We don't know where
Um,
Rion is, but he's on the move.
but yeah,
Yeah,
well, yeah.
he's at the knockout facility. Ah, yeah, there they are. There they are. Rion, our next segment, you shouldn't be there because we've got some issues that we got to discuss, and I don't know if I want I don't want them to hear what we have to say.
They can't hear you.
So are you not coming tonight? Am I throwing away this plate or what?
Steve, hold on one second. How you doing today?
How are you?
I'm in the middle of a podcast right now. No, you're fine.
Are you
You're
looking for
fine.
Kristen though?
So I'm just here to watch. So, but no, they can't hear me. You're good. What do you have to say?
No, just we were talking about Red and Dreamwave, and we're going to talk about some knockout related stuff as it relates to Sunday's afternoon shenanigans.
Okay. Well, I guess let me know and I will focus accordingly. I'm not that far away from you. So I will mute it and go from there.
All right, thanks, Rion. All right, that's Rion Skills. He's our man on the street. He is at Chicagoland knockout practice right now, and they are getting their skate in as Roller Derby Never Sleeps, awaiting the comeback on January 28th. So that's very exciting. What was your favorite moment of Dreamwave, Red?
Besides Aaron and Xavier, going down in 57 seconds.
Yeah, besides that.
Uh dude, so there's a new alternative champion, Gringo Loco. But dude, these cats from Mexico, I don't even know their name and I don't want to mispronounce anybody's name because I do that enough at work. But this one cat had another cat and he literally bounced from rope to rope to rope to rope in between legs. Just dude, it was like, what the hell? Like, I've never seen nothing like that.
Those
I was
lucha
like,
athletes are something else.
it was lucha at its finest. Um, Hornswoggle biting people in the ass. Um, and I mean, formerly known as Hornswoggle. But dude, that was hilarious. Uh, but you asked my favorite moment. So this is where I give roses tonight, but it's not to a particular superstar. It is to two beautiful people, two beautiful women that I love very much. So to Jen and Mary Preston, tonight I give you roses. These two wonderful ladies, and there are other fans. So Leanna, don't take this personally. Um, but everybody knows that I deal with depression and I fight it more than not. And I know this is probably the first time I've ever talked about it on the show. Um, but these two ladies always go out their way to reach out to me, not just on show days or whatever the case. And they check on me. Um, and Saturday, they just went out their way to give me a gift, and they didn't have to. And that made you wonder why I love the people of LaSalle, why I love Dreamwave. And it is because of people like Jen, Mary, Leanna, her husband. There's another lady, God, I can't remember her name. And she came up to me and she was like, "Hey, how are you?" And I was, "You look great. You look beautiful." "Oh, thank you so much. I got a divorce." And like, "Here's my new boyfriend." And it was like, great. Okay. But that's why I love Dreamwave. I've said it over and over again. It's because you're treated like family, not just by the boys in the locker room, but by the fans. And I'm not saying all our other fans, whether it be SCW, CSW, TPW, Crash Tested, wherever we work. I'm not saying the fans aren't beautiful, because they are. But for me, it's Dreamwave. And that's why I met Jen and Mary. They are two beautiful souls. I love them to death. They always ask about me. They always ask about Mama Red. Um, and like I say, and they check on me on a consistent basis just to make sure I'm okay. Um, and that's again my favorite part. I mean, again, being around people that they don't care about. Not gonna say they don't care about Red, but they also care about Sean. And that means way more to me, because Red can stop tomorrow. Red can stop right now. And I know they would still reach out to me. And that means the world. So when you have genuine fans that care about you, your well-being, dude, no pop can surpass that.
Amazing words from the urban sensation. And Dreamwave, obviously first class. We had Jay last week. So I'm very happy the show did well. Saturday night, you like Tom Brady walking into the football stadium to go to the locker room when you came thugging in, quietly trying to be under the radar, which was pretty funny. You didn't even come say hi to your boy, not offended at all. Actually, there were quite a few things that offended me Saturday night, but we'll talk about that as we go. Chicagoland Championship Wrestling, Wrestle League, Dragon Gate came together to open the Chicagoland Gate, and what a show it was. From the pre-show with Motivation Mike and Kid Lat, I knew we were in for a special night when that match ended with the Eddie Guerrero swerve, when Lat grabbed the trophy, fell down behind the referee's back, and he caught him and disqualified Motivation Mike, who had nothing to do with it. So I knew we were in for something special when that's the first match and you get one of the most time-honored gimmicks that has ever happened. And it just kind of went from there. Magnum McLaren, Canadian champion, his manager, Big Daddy Diamond. I got a chance to talk to them and actually did commentary with me a little bit at that show. Do you know how old he is?
No.
Did you see him fight?
No.
You've seen him fight before. You saw him fight at
Yeah.
and you see that kid, you see him work. Guess how old he is?
29.
Are you sure that's what your guess is?
That's the guess, dude. I'm guessing. You asked for a guess.
Old boy is 16.
What?
He is 16 years old.
Wow.
I almost soiled my drawers when they were talking. They couldn't get him to an eating establishment after the show because he's 16. He wrestles like he's been doing this for 30 years. He is the future of this business, and he's 16. I turned to Clay Diamond and said, what is he going to do when he's 21?
So he had to go home
16. My
That
son is
sucks.
15.
Dude, but
I am a bad
so I
parent.
will say this.
I
I
am
will
a
say
bad
this.
parent.
No, you're not. But honestly, think about it. And it's more in lucha culture that they start early.
Do you
But
remember his
think
little
about it.
brother, the 9-year-old at the last show?
Yeah, but I'm saying, think about it. If we as parents, because a lot of times our kids tell us they want to do this, and we know from history that as soon as they start doing
What I
this,
made me on.
I see,
And he didn't come here to eat it.
he's coming.
He's not coming. He's with the knockouts. He don't care.
You know, then they decide 2 weeks later, oh, think about it. You've heard it, Dad, Steve, I wanna play baseball. And you're like, great, son, you're gonna play baseball. And then 3 weeks later, you hear, Dad, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to play the guitar. I mean, we hear stuff like that all the time, and we get amped up to support them, and then they lose interest. We waste the money, and then on to the next thing, and it's a never-ending cycle.
When
And I just think, with this kid, his family was like, "That's what you want to do." He was like, "Yeah."
and that was what he wanted to do. All right. When he walked through the curtain to come out, he looked like Shawn fucking Michaels, man. That's I went on commentary. I'm like, oh, HBK's here. And he wrestled like him. 16. So I don't know if
Well,
Magnum McLaren or Big Daddy Diamond will ever watch this show. Probably not, but I'll give roses to that kid. 16 fucking years old and wrestles like he's been doing this his whole life, but he's wrestling like a 30-year-old. I mean, dude was crisp, on point. And that match between and EJ Swanson, that is Logan's that's his prize pupil. That's Logan's guy. I mean, it was Logan's guy. We'll talk about that in a minute. Swanson's as good as it gets. I don't think Swanson's going to watch this either, but Swanson McLaren is a rivalry that could go for decades. And I would pay to see it every damn time. It was a great match.
I would probably agree.
So McLaren retains his title. Shenanigans with Big Daddy Diamond. I want to know what's in those red gloves. Even C Red doesn't have red gloves. What the hell? Gimmick.
I got red gloves, but
yeah.
But they're Shawn Michaels,
Yeah, I feel you. These are red gloves with bad intentions, no doubt. The triple threat match. The Bridge Queen, Mateo Valentine, Joey Dalton, Riley Rose. Hell of a match. I was introduced to the Eat It DDT. Mateo has some new tricks up his sleeve. One of the most engaging wrestlers in the business right now. Joey Dalton, Mr. 100, did an F5 into a cutter that blew my mind. And then Riley Rose does a 450 off the top rope and then hits an Irish and gets an Irish cloverleaf for the win. So one of the most entertaining triple threat matches I've seen in a while. Match of the night contender for sure. Entertaining as hell, high octane, brilliant storytelling. And the show just kept going. It just kept going. I don't want to call it a fatal four-way. It was a four-way tag match between the Bros and the ARC. Hi, Red. Red got his ass handed to him on a plate. Louis the Wrench said, I'm going to get you, Red. And Louis the Wrench got Red, and Red got.
Oh, Red didn't get got.
Red got.
No, Red didn't get got.
Red, you got.
No, he sucker punched me.
He
took a cheap shot.
Did he punch you? But you weren't. I thought I was looking at Red at CTW. I thought you were out cold.
No,
you're like Randy in A Christmas Story. You laid there like a slug. It was your only defense.
No, I got up.
Much later.
I was there. I walked around, did what I needed.
And I thought D'Angelo Steele died. That was some scary shit. That was real. D'Angelo
Steele is fine. He's fine.
He's all right.
He's
So
fine.
yeah, the IRC looking pedestrian in a match with real tag teams against the Bro Bros.
How
And
can you say that
what did I say? What?
against real tag teams when
Settle down, Red. Settle down.
we still hold tag team gold
It's
other
the
places?
IRC against Dad Bods, which was Hot Rod Daddy Andy and Louis the Wrench. And then, of course, the tag team you should not Google, the BBC. And I'm not talking about the British Broadcasting Company.
And we ain't talking about that other one either.
It is the Black Millionaires Club. It was Drake Dixon and Muggsy James. Black Billionaires Club seems appropriate there. It was one of those matches that there it was organized chaos. We sat there on commentary trying to call this match, and Bullard and I gave up. We're like, well, we can't really call this match, folks, because it's pandemonium. But what an entertaining match, and the crowd was a frenzy. I'm like, I don't want to be the match that follows this match. And then the match that followed that match is the only match that could follow that match and make the show go higher. And it was Skyday versus La Stella, which we don't have to talk about this, Red. We know how good that match was.
I mean, really? First of all, you said Skyday. So right there, you already knew the show was ever elevated to another level at that point. You already knew that.
It really had a big show feel, and they came out and they were absolutely every bit as good as you'd hope they'd be, if not more so. And then we came to a match that I didn't expect to be what it was. It was for the Proven Title Championship. Champion Jesus DeSafio versus Russell All Time. Now, Russell and I have issues. You know it, and I know it. Ain't no way Aaron Rodgers is a GOAT. Ain't no way LeBron James is better than Jordan. Ain't no way LeBron James.
Especially after today, the MVP trophy is now called the Michael Jordan.
So there you go, Russ. If Russ ain't watching, but if Russ was watching, they named the MVP trophy after Jordan. It's not called the LeBron trophy. It's called the Jordan trophy. And believe me, I'll be sending a picture of that to Russ. But as much as I dog Russ and that stupid fucking Russell shuffle that I ended up doing, and I don't know if you saw that, but my moonwalk was on point.
I hate the Russell shuffle.
But I love the moonwalk.
So you'll never catch me doing it.
Anyway, so I hate the Russell shuffle, but Russell All Time, I always thought he was really good at what he did, even though I don't like him, even though we and I have issues. Russell All Time became a star. That match was straight fire. I hope it's available to watch at some point so I can watch it again. You get those matches sometimes where it clicks. It's in all sports. I mean, we watched that Patriots game where Justin Fields connected the dots, put it all together after the bye, and ran roughshod over the Patriots. And you saw a star being born. Never thought I'd get it 2 times in a year. I believe Russell All Time is going to be a big deal in this business. Jesus DeSafio, tremendous athlete, dressed to the nines, all the talent in the world, won the match, but boy, that was the remember when Bret Hart fought Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Austin didn't win the match, but he became Stone Cold. Remember that?
I was there, WrestleMania 13.
Right. This is one of those moments that Russell became something different. And everybody in the stand started chanting Russell. And he was a heel. It's moments like that on commentary that you pause and say, I just saw something special. Match 6, tag team titles. Warhorse defeats 1,000 horsepower. And that was a neat trick because those were 4 giant humans. And both Andrews and Daniels are former wrestling champions. So that was no small work for the Warhorse, but the Warhorse was victorious. And then the TV title was on the line, although it wasn't really on the line because Johnny Nye doesn't show up in typical Idol fashion. They
Of
never
course.
show up. They never do anything. He's the equivalent wrestling of skim milk. And it was now Dillinger versus Bugs Moran versus Chip Walker in a number one contenders match. Now, I was tired at that point because I had high energy for all the matches because the show was building to a crescendo. And, you know, I knew Logan and Paragon was coming, but what Dillinger, Bugs, and Chip Walker did was nothing short of spectacular. Bugs Moran might be the most improved wrestler I've seen this year. What he did wrestling in a bathrobe, some of the moves he hit in a bathrobe were unbelievable. And Dillinger, let's face it, should be on TV Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night. He's that damn good. And they painted a picture that took the fans and the commentary team to yet another level because, you know, it was a long show, many matches, and to keep the energy where it was says something about those three individuals. It was a hell of an entertaining match. And then the screw job, the Homewood screw job, as we'll call it, in a non-title match, Shogun Chris Logan fights Paragon, Father Dritmus, Paraclaus, Yampus, however you want to call him. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the real deal, Rion Skills. He is here. He abandoned Knockouts practice and is now here in this building. We'll talk to him in a minute because we got some stuff to talk about there too. Paragon and Logan. Been looking forward to calling this match since I heard it was announced. It was everything you wanted it to be. It was Paragon at his best. It was Logan at his best. And it was a chess match, but engaging and physical, like to the likes you don't see. And they had fought to almost a stalemate. And then EJ Swanson, who was in the corner of Logan, decided to give an assist to Paragon, and Paragon gets the win. And Shogun is shocked, crestfallen, hurt, stunned that his protege would turn on him. And how does EJ Swanson respond to it? Flips him off. Walks out with Paragon. Now, did Paragon get in the head of EJ Swanson? Is there something between Paragon and Swanson? I don't know.
I saw the promo today. So
I did not see a promo today. Tell me what you saw.
Oh, I saw it.
Tell me what you saw.
EJ Swanson had some very choice words for Chris Logan. And Paragon made it clear to Chris Logan that we, meaning Paragon and Swanson, had just begun. So,
you know, it had all the telltale signs of a Paragon swerve, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Then we had the Battle Royal, very festive as Battle Royals are. I enjoyed that very much, and that led us to the main event, the triple threat, Ewok, hardest striker in the game maybe right now. What's this? These are something that a nice person made us at work today in appreciation for the holiday, and there was some left, so I took some for you. They are, it's mozzarella and pesto in pastry, and with ranch dressing, it's amazing. Now, what you might want to do is you might want to go in that room and put these in the microwave for 1 minute. All right. And then use the ranch. And if you don't smile when you eat these, then you just aren't human. And now my family is home. My son is very sick and was at urgent care. And we're gonna roll through this so I can go be with him. Go do the 1 minute. You're gonna be glad you did. You're gonna be glad you did. Shaq Jordan had been bickering with me all night. He'd stood behind me half the show on commentary, stood behind me heckling me. Shaq Jordan's a pain in my ass, but he's talented, and what a match he performed. It was everything you'd think Ewok, Wittick, and it's everything you think they would do, and so much more. And they got Shaq out of the way, and Ewok had a chair and was getting ready to use it. Triple threat, no rules, chairs, you can use it. And he was getting ready to just tear Whittick's head off. And Whittick looked up and said, "No, man, let's do this right." And Ewok was conflicted. Ewok, he's gonna win and he's gonna do whatever he needs to do to be Ewok.
Right.
He set the chair down, turned to go back face to face and fight Whittick the right way. And suddenly Quinn Whittick turns into the Human Torch. Suddenly it's become an MCU event. And he shoots fire into the face, burning Paragon, potentially disfiguring Paragon. And now Quinn Whittick retains your Wrestle League championship. And, we move on.
He wins.
He wins. He is now your Wrestle League champion. So Quinn Whittick has all the gold. He's got Rocket's gold. He's got Wrestle League's gold. There's a lot of gold in the trunk of the Quinn Whittick. And when we were done with that show, I sat there at commentary for a moment and I watched everybody kind of starting to tear down, and fans came down and everybody was having a good time. And I felt really, really happy that I got to be a part of it, because it was one of those nights that there was no filler. It was all killer. It was a really great show. And, the fans packed the arena. It was a full house, and it was, I was so happy for John Bullard and Chris Logan and Louie and the Dragon Gate people. And it's being shown in Dragon Gate on their pay-per-view. So, I'm happy that it was well represented. The fans, when they get to see it, are going to know they saw something special. So, like I said, it's just one of those moments that, you're in this business long enough, that you're not going to see it all the time. And, Red, you were there, as entertaining as always. And it was just a really nice night for me personally.
I agree. Here's the funny part. And I don't know if you heard me say it. I wrestled for LOW in that same building many years ago. But I didn't realize where the building was until I pulled up, leaving Dreamwave, obeying all the speed limits.
No, you were driving too fast. You got there too quick. Can't do that in a Buick. Shouldn't do that in a Buick. Not in a Buick with a turbo. Shouldn't do it.
Shouldn't, but
call me. I'll fix it.
So as you say, as I snuck in.
No, there's no really you were Tyson entered in Vegas.
I really didn't see the crowd.
Had his hood up, fooling no one.
Hey, of course, I got a red suit on. But when I came out.
Hold on one sec. They're delicious, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't really do ranch though, but I love these.
Would you like something else to dip it in? I have other things.
I'm okay.
Horseradish?
No, I'm okay.
Ketchup?
I'm 100%
mustard.
Just focus on the thing.
Damn it.
So when I came out with Miles and Steel, yes, I love ranch. That's when I see you got the timeout.
I'm not taking it. I just wanted to show off Ryan Matthews. He's a good sport.
To see that crowd, like, dude, to know the main floor is on lock, but then to see all those people
up top
in the stands,
in the stadium, yeah.
Wow.
And that crowd was lively. It was a lively crowd.
Well, I mean, they hated me, but what else is there
to
expect? But
okay. I feel that way sometimes.
I had fans wanting to come fight me out the stands.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Very much so.
Okay, whatever.
Troublemakers.
So, as you say, I am very happy that this conglomerate of companies joined forces and were able to see. This just shows what companies can do when everybody puts their ego aside and they can benefit from working together in a joint effort. That's it.
Red
think
is absolutely right.
You know, but too many companies all have big head, so not everybody, but there are some. And when you try to, hey, let's do a joint venture. Oh well, my guy's got to be on the top of the card and in the main event, and you know, like whatever. Okay, what the hell?
Anyway, it was everything it needed to be, and I think it was everything that the people that put it together intended it to be. And the crowd appreciated their efforts, and I know I do too. Thank you, Mr. Bullard. Thank you, Mr. Williams, and thank you, Mr. Ramos. Excellent work. I appreciated being a part of it. January 14th in that same building, Wrestle League returns. I'm not sure I'll be there for that one. I'm setting the day aside though, because if I'm not working it, I'm going to damn well go watch it because I want to see what the Human Torch does next. And, Ewok is going to want payback. And I feel bad for Sexy Violence because Ewok is a scary fella when provoked. So that was the show that was. And now this weekend, we've got a few shows to talk about. We've got SCW Saturday night and Shaban's Christmas Bash. And then, of course, we have the IPW Captain's Fall Christmas Spectacular on Sunday. We'll talk about those in a minute. Did you see our pals at JFW had a little podcast today?
Of course not.
They had a little podcast today, and the podcast itself, the title of said podcast. Now, I want to read it. I want to get it right because I don't want Steve's booking JFW. So of course my name is in the title of the show. Did you listen to the show?
I listened to everything yet nothing.
He listened to everything yet nothing. I listened to everything, and 28 minutes into the show, they finally moved on to something else other than just what a bad human being I am and how I create my own. It's well documented. I create my own stuff. I mean, we all know this. I'm a pot stirrer. I'm an agent of chaos. I've been referred.
Leave it alone.
Huh?
They leave it alone.
Leave what alone?
Let them be. They're fine.
The JFW? Are they fine?
When they're doing Rocket Pro stuff, you're fine.
Yeah, they're the official podcast of Rocket Pro, Red.
I know, you told me.
Did you hear about that?
So hey,
they're live streamed from Rocket Pro. So that doesn't sit well with me, but it's okay. I want to talk about something that was said not related to me. Travis. It has to be said.
I'm not.
I mean, you're just eating. Travis apparently wants to die because Travis is planning on coming out to IPW on Sunday to watch the festivities. The Knockouts will be involved in that big Lumberjill match. He basically referred to the Knockouts as a bunch of girls taking a 90s skate party and trying to make a sport out of it.
Oh,
that is a direct quote. Did you hear that?
Yeah, he called them sixth graders too, but it's fine.
He called them sixth graders too. Now,
but he also was joking.
Was he joking?
Well, you say it on the internet, it's true. He was joking.
I did not hear him say he was joking.
Hey, put it on Facebook. It's fine.
Oh, is that what you put it on Facebook? It's all right then?
I wouldn't worry about it. I really wouldn't worry about it.
Well, I just kind of feel like, when Willie went on his tangent, I got in some trouble for it.
Well, keep in mind, saying something about being a sixth grader and talking about Team Coochie are two different things.
Well, I didn't say anything about that.
And talking about not knowing the difference or not knowing what Coochie looks like is also different than talking about someone that has multiple activities trying to make it into a sport, which is also another quote.
I see. Okay, well, we'll just move right on then.
Oh, no.
SCW.
Keep going about it, because this is what's going to happen. They're going to play this, and they're going to have all this stuff that they're going to want to say. And as I've stated before, if you're going to tell it right. I didn't bring up Willie. You did. So I'm helping you with the idea of what's going to take place when they decide they want to drop Willie on you, on your head. So we can all kind of bring it back where it needs to be. Now, if you want to get back to what you're saying with Turtle and Travis, stick to that. Leave Willie out of it. Willie doesn't concern we of this. We already wiped that away. Stick to Travis and Turtle. You'll see them both. So, I'm sorry, I got you.
Here's my thing. While your feelings might be hurt, let it go.
We'll see them on Sunday.
For the simple fact is this. They do their thing, we're doing our thing. They're not going to stop us, we're not going to stop them. It is what it is. And I think it's hilarious that they have to spend most of their podcast talking about us or you.
I'm not seeing it.
What?
So
I'm not seeing it.
So again, we gave them enough time tonight. That's it. Let's move on to SCW or IPW, whoever we gonna talk about, and let's keep going.
They will come after you.
Who's going to come after me?
JFW.
Oh, well, that's all right. I'm not too worried about them. Also, did you, Red, you were there Saturday night. Did you see all the knockouts that were in attendance?
No, I didn't.
No,
I tried to, but because I don't know them,
that's fair.
So
they were hiding their planes.
So if you're watching and I didn't acknowledge you or didn't speak, I wasn't being rude. I just don't know you. On this Sunday, all of you that will be in attendance, I promise I will speak. I will introduce myself. That is the person I am, not Red, but Sean. So again, I apologize. So and I will introduce myself.
I saw obviously, Cactus was very present. She came out with Louis, and Crimson Vixen made her way over to say hello. She's like, "Oh, I didn't even know you were here," which I get that sometimes. And then Cactus came over and said, "Hey, I'm going to steal you away because I was talking with her and Jed simultaneously, and she's going to steal you away because I want to take a Knockouts family portrait." And the pictures were on the internet, and they're amazing. You got to see all the knockouts that were there, the Bros, Russell. It was a knockout family portrait. I didn't get invited to the family portrait.
Were you busy doing stuff?
I was doing nothing. I was sitting there.
Are you sure? Because I wasn't there, so I don't know.
I was sitting there talking with Jed.
Why don't you just go do the thing?
Because I wasn't invited to go do the thing.
Man, you need to get over yourself. Just go do the thing.
Just go. You don't go do the thing when you're not invited. If you're gonna take a family portrait, you don't walk into somebody's family and say, "Hey, I'm gonna take this picture with you."
That's almost like me just walking in your house and just eating this stuff without being invited in. We're not vampires, dude. You ain't got to do that. It's okay.
That's a fair point. What are you doing at SCW this weekend?
I am managing Renee Van Peebles.
So you and I are going to be in the same building yet again. And Renee is looking to try to finally overtake the Amazon, Natasha Crane, who she has not beaten.
I have a plan.
You always have a plan. We know this.
Yeah, but I have a plan.
You always have a plan, but your plan has never worked.
Actually, it did.
When did it work?
Last month, sir. See, you weren't there.
Oh, that's right.
And knowing we provoke her enough, she get mad and have to defend her honor and have to put her title on the line. Okay. And she did it. She fell right into our trap. So, okay.
So,
I love it when a plan comes together.
so you think Renee is going to beat Natasha?
I always believe in my people.
Want to make a wager on that?
Sure.
We'll talk off the air. Other amazing matches that are happening at the final SCW show of the year. Scott Spade taking on Mulligan for the Genesis title. That should be very spirited. I mean, will people respond to Spade differently now that POW and SCW have mended the fences? I don't know. But that is something.
But see, do the people of Shabans know that?
Well, I think it's pretty well documented.
That you know of.
That I know of. That we have. Cole Loxmana is going to be in action. Hunter Payne is taking on Max Holiday. And, is Max still POW champion? And Hunter's SCW champion. Now, I wasn't there last month. Is this a title versus title match? Winner take all?
Do you not watch the internety thingy?
My job.
The Book of Face.
Days.
Do you not watch the Book of Face?
I do watch.
So you don't know what happened?
No.
So as I was trying to tell you earlier, as Hunter Payne came out for his answer again with Jimmy, as far as POW and SCW working together, I'll give you the short version. Jimmy said that.
Oh, so now we don't have a truce.
And turn around, Max kicked Hunter's head off.
Well, that's quite a development.
So, title for title.
Winner take all. So what you're saying is it's going to be a hot night in Shabans.
Yeah, as cold as it's going to be. Yeah.
Santana Starks is back in, is going to be back in Shabans taking on Eric Schultz.
Well, hey, I'm starting to like Schultz, if nothing else, because of the suspenders.
Well,
he finally got some bling on his suspenders.
Well, thanks to Shelley, but that's neither.
Very good. That's what he's telling you. They're very good.
I stole those just so you could have some, and I thought you would enjoy them. Nobody saw me do it. I just went.
But you're admitting it here.
I don't care. I'm like Ricky Gervais at the Oscars. I don't care. I'm not going to be here. That's whatever.
All right, man. Come on. We got to wrap this donut up.
All right, we're gonna wrap.
You're right. I gotta run back to the practice.
Okay, so we'll wrap this up right now. Sunday, IPW, lots of fun gonna be had there. Captain's Fall. You slapped me.
Well, there's other things that's gonna happen.
Oh, we're gonna talk. Okay, so so tell me. Let's talk. We got the Lumberjill match. We already talked about that a little. JFW podcast said it's a bias situation that Andy dating a knockout makes it unfair to Miles. How do you feel?
I don't give a damn.
You got it. Come on. You can't hate Miles forever.
Why
He's your son.
Dude, understand this. What is the name of our organization?
Actions, reactions, consequences. It's well documented through the annals of time.
So, for months, we've had to deal with Miles's actions, right?
Yes.
With little to no reaction.
Yes.
Right? But Miles's actions on a particular night brings out a reaction of somebody else. Correct?
Correct.
Who then throws Miles in a situation and Miles loses our trios title,
And then he threw him in a shopping cart.
which is our consequence. I should not have to pay for somebody else's actions. Now, if I kick said person, that's fine if it's one-on-one, but our titles were on the line. So Miles cost us something that I hold dear to my heart. So, do I think it's unfair? Maybe it could be. But do I hope and pray he gets the shit kicked out of him? I do.
That's fair. What do you think?
It'll be fine. Maybe he needs some sense knocked into him. He's been doing a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
There are many other matches. Is there one that you're looking forward to particularly?
5-on-5.
Talk about it.
Okay. Team Motivations versus the team Beer Bros. That consists of Motivation Mike on the team motivation side with Damian Gray, VJ Price, and the Invoke, former tag champions with Leo LaFleur and Damian Tyler. On the other side of Beer Bros, yeah, okay.
Bro.
Sean Danger, Diesel Tracks,
Chad.
Chad who?
Bro, right?
Right, Chad Bro, Tad Bro, and Jay Thunder. They have all had interactions through the year. Most recently over either the tag titles or the beer drinking championship. I'm just curious to see how that's going to play out because
It's combustible elements.
it's a lot of stuff happening at once. I'm not sure which one is. I'm actually curious to see what Danger does because I feel like he's been getting bullied all year, and now he had just people to hit under a weird circumstance. So we'll see. A lot of times he gets bullied and it's him versus multiple people. Now he has all the numbers equal. So we'll see. Yeah.
Big match. Turtles in action, right?
Triple threat. Special exhibition with Mad Dog Jack and Renee Van Peebles.
How does that work?
What do you mean? They wrestle in the match.
No, I know how that, but that's a very interesting amalgamation of people. How did that come together? I'm asking for some liaisonal information.
It's a special exhibition. Originally, there were supposed to be multiple matches with them separately, and then somehow they became one. So it became an exhibition instead of an actual match. I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? They all beat each other up and then get rewarded for whoever wins from some sort of aspect. We'll see what happens. I mean, if I had to guess, it would be something along the lines of Turtle and Mad Dog went at each other briefly. At the last show, Renee and Turtle Turtle has heat with everyone to a certain degree with the ARC, just cause. And just kind of look at it, they're all kind of like the same height. So look at it from that aspect. You can't all like somebody has to be the big dog out of the three, even with the Mad Dog. So it kind of in that aspect. So I mean, what else? What else would you want?
Sounds fun.
It should be.
Sounds like a fun, entertaining afternoon of professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It is the Captain's Fall. It's 2:00 at Richmond Park. Doors at 1, bell time at 2. The knockouts will be there again in bigger numbers. And the Lumberjill match. That do we have any idea how many knockouts are not going to?
I was in process of trying to do a head count, but then you mentioned food, and I was like, you know what? Let me go get this food. Make sure that he knows that I'm in the area. That I'm paying attention. And I shot from there straight here.
And I got to shoot back.
Well, that's kind of how it works. You gotta get the head count for the.
Go get the head. Rion, you can go get the head.
You got other stuff.
I know I'm done. I'm quite finished.
You don't want to talk about the
Next week.
match. You don't want to talk about his match.
No, I don't want to talk about that.
Why not?
Because
it's here now. You don't want to talk about it at all?
I mean, it's days away. Let's be honest, since we're talking about actions, reactions, consequences. Rion, hopefully I can speak for you on this fact. If I'm wrong,
you gotta get out a couple rules and then you can go on about your business.
You know, we love you, Steve. Me and Rion, and even Cactus, we genuinely love you. But as you know, we have told you, especially throughout 2022, you constantly I told you since day one you stirred the pot.
because you never thought.
Yeah, but I can back it up.
You can back it up too.
You know, but I have a gang behind me, so I don't worry about it. But you're
all being a match. This does not look good right now.
It does not. Does
I'm
not.
just saying, Steve, you got us here. You got us here. Now, I understand when you.
My apologies. Side note: Travis called this. No timeout. Don't need that. Travis called this on the show. He's proud of that he called that this was going to be a match. He was proud that he called this match. Please continue.
Okay. With that being said, when you hang up tonight and you end our podcast and you go take care of your son, which is first and foremost, tonight, I need you to think. And I need you to start getting ready in your head. I don't need you to wait till Saturday. I don't need you to wait till Sunday morning as you're driving to the venue. I need you to get your head in the game now. Because understand the way this whole match works, Steve. It doesn't matter if by luck of the draw, Steve.
Literally.
If you're the first one out the gate and you get pinned like that, match over. Match over. Rion never steps in. I never step in. So I need you to start to focus. Family first, but I need you to focus. Because come Sunday, I can't speak for Rion on this. This part for me is both personal and business. I'm not coming to play Sunday. I'm not coming to shake hands. I'm not coming to kiss babies and wave to the crowd. I'm coming for one thing, Steve, which just happens to be business and personal. So if I'm coming in focused, I'm focused now. I need you to be focused. No Tony Stark glasses, no turtlenecks, no suits. I need you to pull up and get ready to whoop some ass. Period. To the best of your ability. I don't expect you to wrestle. I don't expect you to come to fight. Fight.
That got me excited. Shit. I don't get excited about nothing when it comes to wrestling stuff. We here now. That's what you wanted. Wonderful. It's always a catch. It's always a catch. And I hope I don't catch no hands on Sunday. I got shit to do. With Christmas coming up, fruitcake about to be around. I got gifts to open. That's fruitcake is so I can throw it at people, man, not to eat.
Oh, okay. I was getting ready to say.
Make houses with fruitcake. Can't just. I mean, what else is there? There's nothing else to say. We here now. We here now. We could all have fun, win, lose, or draw, no matter what happens. Everybody should.
I mean, let's be honest. A week from today, we'll all be on this in the powwow, right? We're not abandoning ship, right? Standing side by side. And we got your back. I just need you to start focusing tonight. I need you to go back. Understand them, as you say, provoking you. I need you to go back. Them attacking you. I need you to go back when they attacked Rion. I need you to take all of this shit and as a bigger fucking pill that it is, swallow that motherfucker. Let that fire inside you burn for days, with each memory stoking the damn fire, making it bigger and bigger. That way on Sunday, there is a fucking inferno inside of you that you realize you didn't come to wrestle. You didn't come to be a ticket taker. You didn't come to shake hands and smile. You came for one reason, and that's to fight.
I just hope I don't get picked first. I just don't.
Dude, it can be me. Hell. But again, and that's the bad part. I love IPW office, but I saw the contract and it's a random draw. So guess what? Again, if you get picked first, Steve,
we can't help it until we get called.
We can't. And I don't need you to be like, well, I gotta hold out until, because
ain't no, it could be no until. You just got
right.
Maybe I do need to get picked first. Hold the line.
I'm just saying. I need him to go in and understand that we have no control over this because you are the captain. And if you're the captain, that means you have to take the fall. And if you're the first one picked, God forbid, and they get a fucking advantage.
Oh man, we can't do nothing till we get. I might have to be picked. I didn't want to get picked first. I may, for the sake of the team. Oh,
I'm just saying. Just saying.
What you wanted, Steve? I gotta go.
So we're gonna close this show. We're gonna close this show, and I say this.
Right back on to this thing. I'll be back.
Bye, Riyadh. So I'll say this. Sunday, I could be first. I could be last. Guess it doesn't really
Be
matter.
second. Doesn't.
But I'll tell you this. If I lose, I'm out. How about that?
Whatever you need to tell yourself, Steve.
No, I'm not. I don't think you understand. If I don't succeed on Sunday, I'm out. I'm out of all of it. I will leave Richmond Park and never look back. I have to win. That's it. If I don't come out on top this time, I'm done with all of it. I'm done everywhere. I'm done with this. I'm done with this show. I'm done with all of it. Am I
Well,
foolish?
now you're taking it too far because
No. I don't think
got
you
other-
think I'm taking it far enough.
you got other commitments that I know you're already made until certain points of 2023.
Hard subject to change. I have no
Okay.
contracts. I am contracted nowhere. All I have to do is go on Messenger. Sorry, I can't work. I'm done. And it's over.
Okay.
This is it for me. I'm all in. All the eggs are in the basket. I will give you the Zoom information next week, and you can have the season finale. I'll be done. That's the
Is
way
the
it has
season
to be.
finale next week?
It is. I hope I'm here to see it. As it stands right now. But I will say card subject to change because if I lose, I won't be here. But if we get some good fortune and the fortunes of others favor the bold, our Power Hour Christmas Spectacular will include the three wise men. That being Marche Rocket, Backwoods Brown, and Jay Washington. Because we don't do anything on this show half-assed. We don't do anything on this show small. And if we're going to end 2022, which was a pretty fucking great year, we're going to end it the best way we know how. And those are three of the most entertaining men you will ever meet in your lifetime. You well know that, don't you? So that's it.
Of course I do.
Good night, Red.
Good night, Steve.
Friend.
My friend.
Good night, Rion.
Good night. I'm going to do the head count for the knockouts. Good night.
And that's the end of the Power Hour this week. Have a nice evening. Good night, everybody.